Welcome back to the Letters. I'm your host, Jeff Grosso. Let's see. So in 2009, Lance Mountain set out to do a firsthand for Fuel TV. And instead of doing it on himself, he wanted to do it on the people that inspired him to become a professional skateboarder. So after compiling hours and hours of footage, Lance being such a freak, such a perfectionist, he was really kind of unable to finish the project. Here we are 7, 8 years later, and we convinced Lance to let us finish it. Here it is. It's the love letter to the origin of Loveletters, Lance Mountain. I hope you enjoy.
Okay, let's see. Well, here's the postcard for Bobby. Looks like it even has a teardrop here. Hope this finds you well, and you are the Bobby Valdez I'm looking for. My name is Lance Mountain, and I've been a pro skateboarder for the last 20-something years. I'm 45 years old. You might not be able to tell by this postcard. This is a photo I shot of you at the Lakewood Pro-Am with Desi, your brother, in front. I forged the signature, as you can tell. I'm doing a story on how influential you were to me and skateboarding. Could you give me a call? I'm not even sure if this is appropriate kind of behavior for a grown man. 2009, around then, Buddy and Rick came to me to do a firsthand, I think, Fuel TV show thing. Welcome to Lance Mountain. This is my profile, firsthand, here on Fuel TV. And it was like a day in the life, what you did. And instead of going and skating and doing the day in the life, I was like, oh, I know what I want to do. I want to search down like my biggest influences from Lakewood and Skate City days. I tracked Darrell down, found him, and then I found Bobby, but we never talked to him, and then we didn't even get up. We didn't even get to Ray yet. And I want to track down Bobby Valdez. He invented the invert, and I was just super psyched on him as a kid. And then this other guy, Darrell Miller, he was like a local at Lakewood and then at Skate City, which is the parks that I used to localize at, and actually got a few boards from him when I was a young kid. And he made up Miller flips, and first guy to do really long rock and roll slides and rock walk 50-50s.
Why aren't you looking for Jay Adams?
Here's why. Because those are people that everyone knows about and everyone's talked about or whatever. And these guys were kind of like guys that were real influential to me, and I really looked up to at that point. And that's that. That's why.
The thing that's interesting to me, that was interesting to me about the whole thing, when you told me what you were doing, it's like you're searching out these childhood heroes of yours that influenced who you are, who you became, just like informed all of your skateboarding, and a couple of them are just gone, like completely out of it totally. So it had to have been kind of an intense journey. Like you go on the scavenger hunt to find where these people are.
It comes down to like you love what these guys did in skateboarding, and their time kind of came and went so quickly that they didn't. You're just like, man, like you want people to know about these guys.
So how's the progress on this search going so far?
Yeah, since the first time I came in, we've obviously checked with a few people, Orton and Olson. They led me on to Babalu. Babalu was a Powerflex, the guy head of the Powerflex team, and he said he got a hold of Darrell and gave me his phone number and said he's actually waiting for me to call him. So kind of actually scared to call him.
Hello.
Hey, this is Lance Mountain. I got your number from Babaloo. Is this Darrell?
It is, Lance. What's going on there, buddy?
Dude, got a hold of you.
Shit.
Insane.
How the hell you been?
How you doing? Oh, man. I knew it was you when I was walking over there. I was like,
Oh, yeah?
That's the same walk. Same walk. I know it's him. But we were waiting. I was like, waiting.
Yeah.
We're in love with skateboarding, you know? And whatever these guys that were doing, and the time was so quick. New guys were coming in and new things were happening. They're all feeding off. But we were so out of the loop. We got to see them, but it was so important to us. You know what I mean? And maybe there's so little people doing it in the world back then. It was so important that anything that looked rad or felt rad, we just latched onto it, you know? Neil said you'd remember this.
Okay.
Or he said you might remember.
I hope so. My memory's a little...
He didn't remember the name. He said there was a kid that was your guys' friend that was at Odyssey that kind of did hand plants in his name.
Well, that's you know, Bobby got recognition for inventing a hand plant, but there was a guy at that indoor skate park that actually did it.
What was the guy's name?
I don't remember his name, but yeah.
Invert was made by a guy who couldn't do anything. I swear to God, he could only do a carve and pop from coping, like this far from coping, and he never got out. He maybe got out this much. And the next thing you know, I swear to God, I'm looking at a picture of the most like unbelievable fucking invert. And believe it or not, it's not in skateboard history. I had the first extended invert fucking right at the same time. I think Bobby had it first, to be honest. But I had the first extended invert.
Quick intro. I'm with Brad Bowman. Pretty much 1979, 1980 ruler. One of the most stylish guys. Always had the best photos. Had one of the best selling boards at that time, most wanted. Brad, I had a question for you. I wanted to know what you thought the first time you saw an invert and a Miller flip.
The first time I saw an invert, I was pissed that I wasn't the first one to do it. I saw Bobby Valdez do it at Lakewood Skate Park and blew my mind. I just knew that the next level had just been laid in foundation right there. It just changed skateboarding pretty much overnight.
Bobby was the first one to do it in the contest, and then when Bobby did it in the contest, obviously it took off, and you know, it made Bobby tops of the pro. You know, he ended up winning that contest and doing all kinds of good things for Powerflex, and it was good for Bobby.
Okay, here we go. Actually, no introduction necessary. David Hackett. I have a question for you. What were your reactions the first time you saw an invert and a Miller flip?
First time I saw an invert, I think I saw Bobby I went down to Lakewood Skate Park and I saw Bobby Valdez do it down there. Yeah. And I was blown away, absolutely blown away. Whoa, is that something that I'm gonna need to learn? You know, because maybe if I don't learn that, I'm not gonna make the cut at the next contest.
Yeah, we're trying to find George Orton's skate shop. It's a good pool down the street too.
Let's go skate it.
Got water in it. George was a local pro at Skate City when Ray Bones and Darrell Miller were locals, and he was an early 70s skater. Rode for Sims, then he rode for Veriflex, and then Santa Cruz. And he has a shop in Westminster. And there was rumors that he had seen Darrell Miller recently, so I'm gonna see if I get some information. What did you think about Bobby Valdez winning the high air contest at Lake?
When he had won, of course, I was up in arms. I was pissed. He did. I got like 27 inches, and Bobby got like 20. He beat me by an inch.
He was doing an invert.
Like that. I was pissed, but
see, that's the board the invert was invented on, probably.
yeah, that's exactly the one he invented.
Show that one. That's the board the inverts were invented on.
That same size and everything.
When I talk, who do I look at?
You can just look at the camera because they're only going to use it for a minute and then.
I want to look at the camera though. Can I look off to that way?
Yeah, you can do anything you want. I'll go back there. When did you start figuring out or thinking I can start doing something more with the invert?
After the sequence. And the trick tips, was it a trick tips? Bobby Valdez, hand plan on tile. And it was just a lot easier seeing that. Like he would, because you didn't think it could be done really. It was, like I said, I thought it was like a fake thing. You'd see people playing their hand, but we're just going to continue to just do tricks, little airs or whatever, try little axle tricks. And then hand plans started, they looked real after the sequence.
Fucking insane, isn't it? Lance is a freak. I hope you've enjoyed part one. We'll finish up the second half of the story here in a minute. Stay tuned. Love letters to the origin of love letters. Steve Wilson.
Hi.
What? How? What? Huh? You're confused, you're alone, it's Saturday night, you have no pants on? Click here to watch more Love Letters to Skateboarding.